one of my favorite things is learning about new foods.
And just like the culture in general.
Yeah. The traditions, the cultural differences. We usually have our exchange students cook a meal with us and for us so that we can experience what they normally eat, which is always really fun. Yeah.
As Americans, we take a lot of things for granted, and it's always interesting to me to especially have the kids learn about what other countries have and what they don't.
I like showing them like around Boulder. Like I think it's so fun to take them to like Pearl Street and Chautauqua and like show them like the American grocery store and just like things like that that are really cool for them.
We had one student from Cameroon, and the day he arrived, it was a blizzard. And of course, he had never seen snow before, and you couldn't see the mountains because it was so cloudy and snowy. So we went sledding, which of course he had never been sledding before, and that was amazing. And then the next day, the snow cleared, and suddenly the mountains appeared. And I mean, he walked out in the front yard and was just like absolutely amazed. Like, what? I didn't even know that was there. And everything was so amazing to him. I thought that was really cool.
We took him swimming for his very first time.
Wow.
That was a really neat experience to have, to be with somebody when the very first time they'd ever gone into a swimming pool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a movie theater.
Yeah, first time in a movie theater as well.
And we celebrated his birthday with him. When our students are here on their birthdays, we always do like a birthday party for them. And for that particular student from Africa, it was the first time he said he had ever celebrated his birthday in a traditional kind of way. And that was really special.
When we moved to Boulder, we really, my wife and I really wanted to bring culture into our home and have our kids learn about other people's cultures, and that was a way to do it, is actually get the culture and bring it into our home.
Yeah, so sometimes it is a little bit difficult the first couple days when maybe the students are feeling a little bit shy, but then as soon as they realize, we just make them part of the family. You know, we play games, we show them how to use the shower, we all sit around in our pajamas and eat breakfast together. So we just say, look, we're not fancy or formal people. It's just, you're part of our family. And
my daughter here, she grew up, you know, hosting kids, and when she turned 17, she said, hey, I want to go do this myself. And she went off to France, and for 6 months she was an exchange student in somebody else's house. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's really made me want to like see the world and like see the places that these people are coming from and like experience that myself too.
And then we've had a lot of Japanese exchange students over the years, and Ilan in particular has an appreciation for Japanese culture and got to go to Japan this summer to experience that for himself.
Very much so. Very much so. I think it's been so good for our family. I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just a great way, like Ari said, to bring culture into the home, to experience how other people live. And initially we started doing it for the kids, but I think we have really learned a lot over the years as well.
We've grown a lot.
But we literally have friends all over the world that we've gone to visit. We've stayed with them. We've met their families. We've been invited to their weddings. I mean, we've been doing this so long. Some of our first students are now parents, and we're Facebook friends or whatever. And I just feel like, you know, if we were planning a trip or a vacation, we know people in so many places now, and we've just kept them as part of our lives. It's amazing.
I always tell the story when our very first student, her name was Masako, and she was with us for about a month, and she left. She went back to Japan. Lila was about 4 at the time. I was putting Lila to bed, and I said, "Good night, Lila," and she said, "Good night, Dad." And she said, "Hey, Dad," and I said, "Yeah," and she said, you think Masako's waking up about now?" And it was such a moment, you know, that my kid understood the concept that the world is round, that there's people living on the other side, you know, and then it's different times. It was really,
You're not a flat earther.
but it was such
At the age of 4.
At the age of 4 years old, she was
Wow.
able to figure out that people were living on the other side and different light and dark. It was fascinating for me, and that's one of that made me a believer. Yeah.
Wow.
The earth is round.